So I bring to you now the Secretary of Education, and I consider him a real friend of this organization and a warrior for what we need, Arne Duncan.
Thank you so much, Reverend. Hope your team would have been proud of you. I'm honored to be here with Reverend. He's an absolute partner with me on the road.
Pick it up.
These tall guys, these short mics.
I'm thrilled to be here with Attorney General Holder as well. Has been a great partner. I want to talk for a moment on the violence issue, talk more broadly about why education is the civil rights issue of our generation. This issue of violence, we have to overcome. It was by far the toughest part of my job in Chicago, where we had devastating levels of violence. It got to the point that we were losing one child every 2 weeks, getting killed by violence. Devastating, one every 2 weeks. And we challenge students to think long term, to think about college, to do the right thing. We have too many young people around the country who are simply trying to survive, who are simply trying to make it. We can't begin to hope that they'll fulfill their academic and social potential in those conditions. I kept behind my desk back home a beautiful picture that one of the young boys had drawn for me when I went to visit school. It was a picture of him as a fireman. He wrote on the picture, "If I grow up, I want to be a fireman." It hit me really deep. When I was growing up, I never thought if I grow up. When I grow up.
Right.
For this young man and for so many others, it is literally if I get past 17, if I get past 18. And how can we expect them to do their best living in that kind of environment? There's a series of things that we as adults have to do to create a climate where students can be safe, where they can be successful academically. They have to be safe going to and from school, at lunch, at recess, on the playground, in the neighborhood. They can't worry about going to the candy store and having something happen to them. It can't happen. We haven't taken this seriously. We have levels of violence in some of our communities that rival those in Beirut or in other places. How do we allow that to happen in our country? We have to do better than that. We have to put in place those foundational building blocks that enable our children to be safe, enable them to be successful academically. They can't worry about where they are every single moment. If our children need to be fed, we need to feed them. We have tens of thousands of children in Chicago that we fed 3 meals a day because we worry about them not eating. We had a couple thousand children who we sent quietly, sent them home on the weekend with backpacks of food because we worried about them not eating before they came back to school on Monday. We have to do those things. We had about 50,000 young people who we gave eyeglasses to every single year because they couldn't see the blackboard. Some people said you did too much. You shouldn't have to do all those things. But we as educators, we in the public school system, we have to do whatever it takes. We can't make things. We have to call out the gangbangers. We have to call out the folks who are doing the shooting. We have to show them need to be fed. We need to feed them 3 meals a day. We need to give them eyeglasses. We need to challenge parents to take responsibility. Parents have to turn those TVs off. They have to go to school. Students' first teachers, and always be the most important teachers. They have to be a partner. They have to be part of the solution. And so we have to behave in very different ways if we're going to get where we need to go. I've said repeatedly that education is the civil rights issue of our generation. And let me explain why I think that. You can ride in the front of the bus, but you can't read. You're not truly free. We have a 25% dropout rate in our country. That's 1 million young people leaving our schools for the streets each year. How many good jobs are there out there today for high school dropouts? None. None in the legal economy. None. That's different. When I was in high school in Chicago, my friends could drop out and go get a good job in stockyards and steel mills and own their own homes, support their family, do okay. That's a different memory from a bygone era. We have to get that dropout rate to 0 as fast as we can. We have to make sure all of our high school graduates are ready for some form of higher education. 4-year universities, 2-year community colleges, trade, technical, vocational training, whatever it might be, that next step on the education journey has to be the aspiration for every single young person. It's not just the civil rights issue of our generation, it's about our country's economic security. At a time when we have a devastatingly high unemployment rate, we have over 2 million good-paying, high-wage jobs in this country today that we can't fill because we're not producing the knowledge workers that have the skills to do those jobs. So the answer is with us. The president and I met with a number of CEOs a couple weeks ago, and I was stunned, about 15 people in the room, I was stunned how many said, we're trying to hire right now, and we can't find the knowledge workers to step in and take these jobs. And we're competing not in New York City or New York State or on the East Coast of the country for jobs. We're competing in India, in China, in Singapore, in Japan.
Really?
And right now, ladies and gentlemen, those countries are out educating us. They are beating us. The president talks all the time. South Korea is one of those great nations educationally. When the president went to meet with the president of South Korea, he always asked about education. He said, what's your biggest challenge? The president of South Korea said right away, my biggest challenge is that my parents are too demanding. My parents are too demanding. And even my poorest parents demand a world-class education. And I'm spending millions of dollars importing thousands and thousands of teachers to come to South Korea to teach our children English in first grade because my parents won't allow me to wait till second grade. That's reality, ladies and gentlemen. And I wish to God we had more parents beating down our doors saying get better fast. Our children are as talented, as creative, as thoughtful, as entrepreneurial as children anywhere in the world. We have to give them the chance. We have to raise expectations. We have to challenge each other. Reverend talked about the school we visited in Philadelphia. I'll give you one more conversation from that. As you said, we went from the second most violent school in the city to almost no violence in 2 years. Not some 10-year plan, in 2 years. We're from having 25% of students reading at grade level to 80% in 2 years. And I asked one of the young men, what did it used to be like? And he said, we used to fight all the time. I said, what do you used to fight about? He said, we used to fight about some really stupid things. I said, why do you do that? He said something really profound. He said, we were expected to fight. That was the expectation. We were expected to fight. Because the inner city school, in a neighborhood that was a little bit tough, the adults there expected the young people to fight. And when a different set of adults came in and raised expectations and changed the culture, all of a sudden all that went away. So we owe it to our young people to give them the opportunity to be successful. And we have to look at this from our babies all the way up through college. We have to invest more in early childhood education, our 3-year-olds, our 4-year-olds. We have to get our babies off to a great start before they enter kindergarten. That levels the playing field. If we're serious about closing achievement gaps, we have to start much younger. We have to push very, very hard on K-12 reform, raising standards, raising the bar, making sure the expectations that students graduate and then go on to college. And I look at lots of places calculate dropout rates differently. And we do, I think, intentionally to confuse issues. But I always do something really simple. When I go to a city or I go to state, I ask how many 9th graders there are and how many 12th graders there are. And that's not an exact correlation of dropouts, but give you some indication. New York City right here has 103,000 9th graders. We have how many 12th graders we have? 53,000. So you have 103,000 9th graders in New York, 53,000 12th graders. So 50,000 young people, and my question to you is, where are they all going? Are they all going early to the NBA? Microsoft, is Bill Gates coming here saying, I want to hire all your dropouts from 9th to 10th grade? Google, Facebook, we're losing to the streets, they're getting locked up, and we are basically condemning them to poverty and social failure. There's no jobs out there. And it's not just a New York City issue, this is a national issue. Urban, rural, suburban, white, black, Latino, 25% dropout rate. 1 million young people leaving our schools to the streets each year. So we have to get that rate down to 0 as fast as we can. We have to raise expectations. We have to get mentors. Schools can't do it alone. As Mayor Jones said, our schools need to be open 12, 13, 14 hours a day.